And welcome back to the WHIG TV Morning Show, brought to you by Don Bullock Chevrolet as well as Chick-fil-A. What did you sample this morning, Alan? Tell us about it.
Oh man, I had the good old chicken biscuit, and I had that chicken, egg, and cheese bagel. I went for 2 this morning since I changed the tire this morning. I figured I need all the energy I can get before I go to work.
That's right. And our special guest is Danny Tyson, 2-term county commissioner in District 4, the incumbent in this upcoming race, seeking a 3rd term here. Danny, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Yeah, I appreciate you being here. We always extend the offer of free Chick-fil-A to all of our guests. So
thank you.
So we'll be glad to let you have something on the way out. You didn't sneak one while I wasn't looking, did you?
No, didn't take one this morning.
All right, well, you're welcome to it, as we welcome anyone to come up and have breakfast with us on Monday and Wednesday morning, thanks to Chick-fil-A. As we mentioned, Danny Tyson running for Nash County Commissioner, seeking a 3rd term in District 4. We'd like to give you the opportunity to introduce yourself to our audience. Tell us a little bit about yourself, Danny.
Well, I am, like I say, the current incumbent. I am seeking a 3rd term in the Republican primary. I have a little bit of opposition here, so I have to get out and do a little bit of work.
That's right.
And I am married. My wife, Jane, been married for 30 years.
Okay.
Been on my honeymoon for 30
wow.
years.
Wow. He's been married as long as you and I have been alive.
I know it.
So,
how about that?
And have 2 boys.
Okay.
A beautiful daughter-in-law, a
all right.
grandson. So,
cool. Oh, great family.
And have been working hard for Nash County citizens for the past 7 years.
Right.
Trying to do the things to
absolutely
keep county moving in economic times.
Absolutely. As well as we mentioned, you are the incumbent. I have already served 2 terms, seeking your 3rd. Thinking back to 7, 8 years ago when this all began, what prompted you to run in the first place?
Well, you sort of felt like you needed a voice on the southern end of the county. The incumbent that was there had been there for quite a few years, did a wonderful job, but sort of felt like we needed a new voice, something new to take place. So I decided to run, got involved. I think we have done some good things on our end of the county, been able to let people know that we do exist, because a lot of people sort of felt like we were just there, we weren't heard. So I'm very comfortable and feel very good about what we've accomplished over the last 7 years.
Well, obviously, the world, everything locally, statewide, nationwide has changed in the last 7 or 8 years. What are some things that you have noticed that have changed during your 2 terms, and have you had to make any adjustments in your strategy as you approach seeking a 3rd term?
Well, everybody knows that the economy sort of tightened up, so you have to look at your county budgets and work with your county staff as far as budgets, making sure that we can keep those balanced and still do the things for the county that you're required to do.
Right.
So the hardest part, I guess you would say, is trying to look at the budgets and trying to maintain but still get the economic growth that you need to position Nash County to where we need to be, so when things start picking up, we're ready to move. Right,
absolutely. Also, one of the other, I would say one of the biggest focuses for county commissioner is education. We've talked a lot on this show, different topics have come up about education. What are some of the things that that you have done, like I say, over the course of your 2 terms within the school system, and what changes may need to be made or adjustments need to be made as you seek the 3rd term? Talk a little bit about education, what's been done in that capacity, because that's a big thing on people's minds right now.
Well, I guess the toughest thing is it all comes down to money, and that's one of the biggest parts of our budget is the Nash Rocky Mountain School System. You're looking at close to $19–20 million of your $80–85 million budget. Right. Right at $20 million of it goes to Nash Rocky Mountain School System. So trying to make sure that you budget the money that they need for the future, working with them on future projects. You know, everybody knows we were able to build a new Rocky Mountain High School. Right. We were able to put a field house at Southern Nash. Right. We were able to renovate Middlesex Elementary School. We did all those things, and we're able to do it, stay within our means, and not have a property tax increase on the citizens of Nash County. So
it's pretty good, yeah.
Having to look at all the things that you have to look at, keeping the county running, taking care of your county people,
yeah,
all the different programs that you want to do, and still being able to build the things that you need to build and take care of the facilities that you need to take care of, and do all that and stay within your budget and not have a tax increase.
Tough to do.
Is been a major accomplishment. Absolutely. For this Board of Commissioners.
That is very.
And I'm one of 7, so I have 1 vote. So I generally, once our board makes a decision, regardless of how some of us may have voted to start with, once we vote to support something, we generally are 100%. Right. We're 100% behind supporting it.
Absolutely. One of the particular questions that has come up over the course of the past couple of months as we take calls on different things, one of the big issues within the school system and education, and because I think we would all agree that obviously education starts, you know, with kindergartners first set, you know, really young is where they form their opinions. What is your stand on the issue, the cuts that have come with teachers' assistants and things like that, and how that affects teachers' ability to hone in on students and give them because that has been an issue that's come up, a lot of, you know, teachers' assistants getting cut. Where do you stand on that, and any updates on that situation as far as, because that's been a big issue amongst a lot of people?
Well, having a lot of friends that are teachers and elementary school teachers, I hear a lot from them about the things that affect them, and teacher assistants, and losing those teacher assistants has been a big effect on them because a lot of them are having to share. But I also realize that when the state looks at its budget and it has a $2 billion or $2.5 billion shortfall, it has to look to cut somewhere. And I think the state has done a good job of looking and doing a cut across the board. And I know it affects schools, and I know it affects teachers, and I know Nash Rocky Mount School System has done an outstanding job of maybe cutting a lot of staff rather than cutting teachers and assistants.
Right.
But sooner or later, the pot of money gets so small that you have to look, where do I cut?
Well, I think you bring up a good point there. As long as people can see that the effort is being made to try to disperse the cuts as much as possible and not just completely zone in on what many people would say is the last thing they should cut. So, you know, if you can show that effort is being made, which you mentioned is important, because that's something that people are very passionate about, and I think that's good.
Well, it's the same thing with the county and the county staff. Now, the county manager and the county staff have done an outstanding job of looking at positions in the county and saying, can I live without that position for 3 to 6 months before I have to fill it? Filling only the critical ones that we need to fill in order to keep our budget in line, and maybe come in a little bit below budget so that we come in the black.
Right. So, okay. Yeah.
So that's one of those budgetary things that the superintendent and the school board looks at. It's a hard decision to make. It's one you don't want to make, but you have to look at, where is my money, and how am I going to disperse that to cover everything I've got to cover. Absolutely.
Danny Tyson, our guest, 2-term incumbent seeking his 3rd term county commissioner at District 4, our guest at this time. Mr. Tyson, what would you say over the course of your 2 terms, as we mentioned, seeking this 3rd term, what are you the most proud of that you have accomplished, and what does that show about you and the effort that you make as you seek this 3rd term? What do you take the most pride in?
Well, there are several things that the county has worked on. Being represented mainly from the middle to southern part of the county, we did not have an industrial park in the southern part of the county. We have worked extremely hard. We now have a 500-acre site off of 231, 264. The Gateway Partnership is starting to advertise that. We're hoping to get some interest in that. We work with Nash Healthcare Systems on getting a clinic in southern Nash County. We actually didn't have a full-time doctor in southern Nash County. Well, now we have, with Nash Healthcare System, partnering some with, I guess, with a group out of East Carolina. We have a full-time doctor. We have a 5,000 square foot beautiful clinic. It's right there at the industrial park. We have a physician's assistants and a full staff. That is up and starting to run, so that has been a major accomplishment on Southern Nash County as far as health care. We have worked on putting countywide water, starting to put countywide water. I was lucky enough that it's gone in my district first, mainly covering my district. The county commissioners worked extremely hard on trying to make it customer friendly.
Right.
We are not using tax dollars to pay for this. It is based on a customer pay. As a water line goes down a road, if there's enough people who sign up for it, then we run a water line down that road, and those customers pay the bill.
Right.
It is mainly done on a USDA loan. So we got some grant money, but as the customers sign up, we made it customer friendly to the fact that if it comes by your house and you says, look, I don't want county water, I like my well, you get to keep your well.
Wow.
And if something happens to that well, we've even made it to the point where you can go to get a permit and dig you a new well. You do not have to hook up to county water. Now, if you build a new house, you will have to hook up to county water if the water line is run by your house. So, and if you hook up to county water, you can keep your well for washing your car, irrigating your yard, irrigating your garden, filling up your pool, whatever you may need. You can keep that well.
Wow.
If you hook up to county water.
That's neat. That's neat. I'm learning something right here. I was not aware of that. That's definitely interesting.
That is a customer-based thing.
Well, and see, that's important today. I think people like to see, you know, those efforts being made to feel like, okay, they really care about me and what my situation is, giving me the opportunity to, you know, as you mentioned with this, keep my well or whatever it is. I think that is something that people can really, you know, get excited about and really appreciate. We mentioned before we came on the air Upper Coastal Plain Learning Center and the bond referendum, going back to the education there for a second. Can you go back and touch on that for just a moment?
The Upper Coastal Plains Learning Council was part of a UNC system program that has come down here, and basically you have mainly NC State, ECU, and some others down here. And what they've done is they took a 5-county area that they're looking at. They took Nash, Wilson, Edgecombe, Northampton, and Halifax counties, and they have gone in and they have a group that is studying what works and what doesn't work in those school systems. Okay. Trying to weed out what doesn't work, find out what works really well, and get those things implemented to help bring up our children. We have some areas down east that have 2nd and 3rd generation dropouts. The parents dropped out, the kids dropped out, the grandchildren dropped out. We need to find out what's causing that and to address it, because those people need to work. And it's hard for those people to get a job if you don't have an education. Right. So that is what this group is doing. It is working very closely with these counties, the school administrations, the counties, to see what we can do to improve the situation of the schools for the ones who are not coming along where they should come along. Okay,
hey, and that's a big issue. So definitely good to see something going on there. Danny Tyson, County Commissioner, District 4, seeking his 3rd term. He is the incumbent in this race. Want to talk, before we jump into the big question, the chicken plant, the Sanderson Farms, which I know always comes up. It's just a little bit of a person, you know, I like to not necessarily challenge the candidates a little bit, but just get to know their personalities a little bit. But with the competition that you mentioned, you know, people say competition is good, causes you to sharpen your pencil. Talk a little bit about what, you know, you don't have to necessarily mention anybody in particular, but you mentioned people running against you. What do you have to do? Do you find yourself a lot of times looking at who you're running against and maybe having to adjust to their personality or their strategies, or do you just say, this is who I am, doesn't really faze me who's running, this is the way I'm going to do things? What way do you lean more towards in the actual campaign?
Basically, I'm going to look at you and say, I'm Danny. Okay. That's who I prefer. That's who I am. That's my given name. I'm Danny. As far as worrying about my challenger, I worry about my campaign. I worry about what have I done the right things to help move Nash County forward, or what I want to do in the future to help Nash County move forward. As far as campaign strategies and things of that nature, you've got to meet the people. You've got to run a primary just like you would run for the general election. In other words, you've got to cover all your bases. You've got to talk to the people. You've got to put your signs out. You've got to do these interviews.
That's right.
You've got to do the things to let people know that you're genuine, that your word is good, and that you can be trusted, and that the things that you've done for the county have been to benefit Nash County.
Absolutely. Well, I appreciate that. Let's jump to the Sanderson Farm situation. This is something that we've been dealing with here. Rumors this, rumors that, for the last year and a half. Obviously, we have taken call after call after call on our show here with people's opinion on that. Where do you stand on this issue, and also how does it affect, how involved are you? Explain your involvement in that, and where we are with this. Give us an update.
Well, Robbie Davis was our chair when we first started talking about Sanderson. So Robbie is sort of the lead person with the commissioners as far as Sanderson Farms goes. So he basically deals with Sanderson and keeps us updated.
Okay.
I supported the resolution to bring Sanderson Farms here.
Okay.
I have been to Kinston several times. I have talked with the people down there. I've seen the facility, the spray fields. We've had people from North Carolina State University come in and talk with us. We've talked with the Diener people. We've done our due diligence in making sure that if Sanderson Farms chooses, which they have not selected yet, but if Sanderson Farms chooses Nash County, we have covered the things we need to cover to ensure that it is a good quality company and it is not going to pollute or do the things a lot of people say it's going to do. Now, would it be a cold place to work? Yes, because you're dealing with meat. Right. And anytime you deal with meat, USDA says you're going to regulate at a certain temperature. As far as the spray fields are concerned, we have a small municipality in Nash County right now that is basically landlocked because of their wastewater treatment facility needs to be upgraded, and because of the dollars it takes to upgrade it, they're sort of landlocked, we like to say. They can't move. They can't even bring a Hardee's, a McDonald's, a Burger King, anything in, because basically they're landlocked until they can figure out how to get the money to upgrade their facility. If they had Sanderson Farms wastewater treatment facility, they could grow tremendously. It is that good. The water that they will put on the spray field, it has all the high-tech regulations and gadgets, I guess you would say, to do it. And so the water they actually put on the field actually has to have nutrients put in it to make the grass grow that they sell to horse farms. And
that has been one of the things that the people that are against this have argued that won't happen, that it won't help other industry, it won't help other business, it'll bring us down. You're making a point there where you can see that it would bring some very positive elements to our area. Any prediction on when this decision is going to be made? I mean, and I know nobody really knows, but I mean, this is something where we're all just kind of like make up your mind. I mean, either do it or don't.
Well, I would like to do it tomorrow and get it over with. But that's up to Sanderson. That's up to their board. I think our board sits ready to do the things we need to do to welcome them here. I think it would be 1,100 jobs. Would you take the average salary for the whole plant is about $27,000, $28,000 a year, $100 million investment into the community. You look at the taxes that they're going to pay, even the local fire department, the fire taxes that they'll get would be tremendous for them. So there's a lot of upside to it. When you got a 12 to 15% unemployment rate right here in Nash County and your surrounding counties,
you got to do what you got to do.
There's enough people to handle that. I know some people worry about the Hispanic population maybe going in there and work. But my answer to that is, if you want a house framed, who's framing it? If you want bricks laid, who's laying it? If you need shingles put on your house or drywall put in your house, who's the ones who come to do it?
Right. So, looking at this on a grander scheme, this will be our final question for you, and then we'll let you wrap up with some concluding thoughts. Looking at the bigger picture here, do you feel like the opposition that has been thrown towards this from various people Now you've got Conward heading the opposition. Do you feel like that opposition, that other potential businesses, industries are sitting back looking at this and saying, you know, I don't want to come here because that area just fights everything? Do you feel like that is really an issue, or is this just an isolated thing that really industries wouldn't really focus in on that? Because that has been some concern here. If we keep fighting things, other things are not going to even want to consider us. Is that really a problem?
Potential. And I can go back to Iams Dog Food, who wanted to locate outside of Nashville. Ended up going to Henderson because they had a little opposition here. They ended up giving tremendous amounts of money back to the school system up there and putting it back into the community. And they've done everything that they were supposed to do, and they're a good corporate neighbor up in that area. So yeah, there could be some downside. It is up to the commissioners and the municipality leaders and the Gateway Center to lead the fight, to say, you know, we are a good area to come to work. We have people who want to work. We have a good school system. We have a good labor force. We have a good infrastructure for you to come here to work. You know, Rocky Mount has sewer capacity. Rocky Mount has water capacity from the industry that they've lost. So those things are positive. We have a board that is very friendly to looking at industry coming this way. I think that we've done the things we needed to do to encourage industry to look our way. It's just that with the economy the way it is, it's just a tough sell to get people to want to come up off the money to expand.
Gotcha. Well, I appreciate that. Danny Tyson, County Commissioner of District 4, been our guest during this segment. He is seeking a third term in the upcoming election. Thank you once again for being here. I want to give you the opportunity to make any closing remarks that you would like to share with our viewers.
Well, the one thing we didn't touch on, I would like to touch on real quick, is Nash Community College bond referendum coming up.
Absolutely.
We've got a $9.5 million bond referendum on the May primary. Ask for you to support it for the simple reason we can support this building without a tax increase in Nash County. So the people who are worried about whether there's going to be a tax increase, my answer would be no. We can support that. We have worked hard over my last 7 years to put the things in place as far as recreation, working with communities, the water system, a new industrial park, working with Nash Healthcare to get a new clinic in southern Nash County. We've done a lot of things over the last 7 years to put ourselves in a good position for growth. And I would ask that the people in District 4, I would ask for your support on May 8th, and look forward to serving the people in Nash County 4 more years.
All right. Thank you. Danny, we appreciate you being with us this morning. Thank you very much. Danny Tyson, County Commissioner of District 4, Nash County, seeking his third term here on May the 8th. Well, we will return with Fred's last look at weather, and then some final headlines and sports discussion on the WHIG TV Morning Show, brought to you by Don Bullock Chevrolet and Chick-fil-A. Stay with us.